Okay, I'm sorry if I look like a mess right now. I just want to sit down and talk to you guys about something very important. And I just finished watching 13 Reasons Why, and throughout this whole show, it just got to me like any other show. What's new? You know? I get too attached to shows, and then I get hooked on them, and then they make me cry like a baby. And then usually I share them with people, and of course, sometimes people don't watch it or even try to. They're just like, uh-huh. Oh, really? Okay. Like, so, years ago, I would say when I was 13, I read the book and actually heard Hannah Baker live and in stereo. Just like in any, book, really. You can listen to the tape and then read along. So I did that so I could get a better understanding and feel for what Hannah was going through. And throughout the book, I was, oh Lord, I was in shock the whole time and I couldn't believe it. It made me pissed. It made me emotional. It was just a roller coaster of emotions. And now that I watched the show, I was lost because it's been so long. So I had to go back to it and look through it. And then that's when I realized some differences and then some similarities. And then I was just like, oh my gosh, like it just came back to me, like everything, you know what I mean? And I see why this could be a huge controversy, but I think it's kind of stupid how some mental health experts think that just because someone has went through something like Hannah did or any of these kids in the film did, or teens I should say, I'm sorry, we're known as kids still even though we're teens, so that's why I'm saying it, I'm sorry. It's annoying sometimes. How just because you have depression or you're dealing with stuff like that means you're gonna end up killing yourself or you're gonna harm yourself in some way or you're gonna do something crazy. But that's not the case. Like, I don't get why some people think that, and it's annoying. And the reason why I know is because I've seen it happen, to really close people of mine. Just because I look happy almost all the time, or positive, I should say. Just because I'm like that doesn't mean I'm not going through anything, because I am. Deep down, believe it or not. I feel like that's one of the reasons why people didn't think Hannah was really going through something. And at first, we see these characters and we're just like, damn, they're such jerks to Hannah. But then we don't stop to think, like, how was their life at home? Are they okay? And maybe thinking, whoa, 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 girl, you're defending the ones who hurt Hannah in some way. If you actually see the whole show and you see their backstory and the stuff that goes on at home with them, it gives you a whole different perspective on each of the characters. I would say the only one was actually a jerk was Bryce and what's his name? Marcus. There you go. I don't know. Sometimes I forget his name. Bryce and Marcus were. I At first I remember when I was watching the 13 Reasons Why, I was just like, why is Hannah blaming all these people? But then I stopped to think about it, and I was like, huh, makes sense. Every time she tried to, get to know someone or become friends with them, they always seem to turn their backs against her because they cared what other people thought of them, which really pissed me off. And I get it, not everyone's the same. People get hurt with words sometimes. I get hurt from words sometimes, but not from other people. A little bit of my family. I don't know why. kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know. People are just different. I think we just have to always be careful what we say, and honestly, just kill them with kindness. I think that's why the show was one of the reasons why it did so good too. Was because Selena was part of it, and she kind of understood some of the things that these kids went through, or teens, or young adults, whatever you want to call them. Because she's dealt with some stuff like this. She's dealt with hate, especially from the public, or from the media, or anyone in general. That's why I think we always have to be careful what we say. Because believe it or not, even though, I must say, even though actions do speak louder than words, so do words sometimes. And even though I'm not a well-known person, I'm always trying my best to be careful on what I say online. Because believe it or not, it could hurt someone in some way. I try to help people, but sometimes it's hard because they cannot really share how they feel because they feel like they don't know how to or they don't want to, and it kind of gets to me because I don't want to see that person go. You know what I mean? Because you never know. And I don't want to see this person, like struggling on their own or just, just by themselves. And it gets to me, and that's why I try my very best to help anyone and anyone I could possibly can. Whether if they're strangers or they're my close friends or acquaintances, like if you're going through something, just talk to me. I'm all ears. I'm gonna be listening, and I'm gonna be, helping you out in some way. I'll try my very best. What's worse though is how when you don't know someone has like depression or anything, and you find out later, like years later, or that they did something to themselves, and they just, they tell you by like just crying out to you or just talking to you, and you're just like, oh my gosh, you don't even realize it. Sometimes there's stuff like that where I don't even know. Like I always have to. Now I'm more. I don't know what the word is. I notice how people feel a lot more now than I ever did. Like I notice little things, but not so much to the point where I know like anything about them. Just a little something, you know what I mean? And it's insane how you think you know that the person's okay or they seem happy because come with a smile on their faces and they're just fun to hang out with and be around when really they're probably dying on the inside. I know people thought about that. Some people, kind of like me, there are some people who thought I was like that, and they were just like, "Damn, you're such a nice person." They're like, "Wow, like I've never really met anyone like you." I'm like, "Really?" Like, and I think to myself, like, who are you really hanging out with? Like, who's really your friend? Like, you know what I mean? Because in reality, shouldn't we all be, you know, treating each other with respect and kindness and, you know? And so sometimes that made me think, and I'm just like, wow, I didn't realize I was that nice or I really meant that much to a person. So last night I went to prom, so that's why I look like this. And all of the girls look so beautiful, all the guys look so nice. And I literally told a lot of them, even some I don't even know, I'm just like tapping on their shoulder saying, "You look amazing. You look so cute. You look like," I was just giving a bunch of people compliments. Like, shouldn't we all be like that? Oh my gosh. Shouldn't we all be like that towards each other? You know what I mean? And you know how people see girls as like, oh, jealous or any of that kind of stuff. But we always have to look better than the other girl, or else we're not that good. But don't get me wrong, there's still some girls who I'm just like about. But then again, maybe they're like that for a reason. You never know. They could be going through something at home, so I don't completely blame them. You just never know. Just be kind to one another. And girls, try to find someone like Clay Jensen, because trust me, he's the guy that you all deserve. He may not be, strong, masculine, hot. What else? An athlete. Who cares, honestly?
You'll never be